Welcome to Forum 360. I'm Stephanie York, your host today. Thank you for joining us for a global outlook with a local view. Today, we're here with Tater Tot, Summit County Juvenile Court's therapy dog. And with Tater Tot is Jeff Arbach, Tater Tot's handler, and Magistrate Amber Crow. Tater Tot is thought to be one of the only therapy dogs working in Ohio juvenile courts and with a court-appointed special advocates program, which advocates for abused and neglected children. Thank you, Jeff and Amber, for being here today.
Thank you.
And for joining us. And thank you, Tater Tot. Aren't you the cute one?
You've made a friend already.
Yes, this is going to be really hard to get through because I'm going to want to play with the dog all day. So, can you both just begin by telling me a little bit about yourselves and what you do for the court?
Go first.
So I'm a guardian ad litem at the juvenile court. What that is I am the voice for kids in the courtroom. Kids whose parents are accused of abuse or neglect. I get assigned their case and work alongside them throughout the duration of that case, just to make sure that their wishes are known to the court.
Nice. How long have you been doing that?
Started off as a volunteer, did that for about 2 years, and I think I've been here 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And what do you do, Amber? I know you're a magistrate, but
Yeah, you stole my thunder. I'm a magistrate. So what that means is that I preside over cases for delinquency, which are cases that would bring kids before the court. So if they had committed a crime, if they had been an adult, that's what a delinquency is. I deal with abuse, neglect, and dependency cases. I also deal with traffic, unruly, and I preside over the restore court docket.
okay, that's a lot. It's a lot. Probably rewarding though to get kids in, on the right track and doing the right thing. And
When you see it, it's amazing.
yeah. So tell me about this fella here.
So Tater Tot, so what do you want to know?
I want to know
How far
everything.
back do we
How
go?
old is he? Let's start with how old he is, what kind of breed he is.
Okay. Tater Tot's going to be 6 years old this year.
Okay.
He's a border collie, 3/4 border collie, 1/4 lab. Yeah, you. And he was raised in a prison in Kansas.
Really?
Trained by an inmate for a year and a half. And yeah,
Do you know anything about the training process there? How does that work?
I don't. I know the program's been doing
Okay.
it for about 20 years.
Sounds really fascinating too.
They had about, I think, 12 dogs in his graduating class.
Okay.
Tater Tot was trained for me to work alongside veterans with PTSD at the time. But there were dogs that had diabetic alert dogs for
wow.
kids who were in school, so they
Sure.
wouldn't have to test all the time. All sorts of stuff. So.
Wow. And how did Tater Tot get his name?
Well, he came with a different name that was a little more formal. I only use it when he's being really bad, which is rare, thankfully.
I was about to say, he looks pretty calm.
Looks pretty calm. And I just wanted a fun name,
Yeah.
something that would resonate with kids. I had a friend suggest it, and I was like, that's the one.
It's perfect. And
That's
I saw
what
your
we're doing.
license plate. It says
Yes,
Tater
it
Tot.
does.
So that's pretty awesome.
Right, it's misspelled because somebody else got actual Tater Tot, and I wonder who that person is or why they
Right.
got
And
it.
what motivated them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So is this the first therapy dog that you guys have had at juvenile court? Do you know?
Yes, at juvenile court it is.
Yes.
We have one from the prosecutor's office who
Okay.
comes in, Avery, and now Adam. There's also one with the Turning Point Tank.
Turning Point Tank.
Okay.
That's for the Common Pleas Court downtown.
There we go.
Okay. So each court has like their own little thing going on.
Yeah.
But this is really special because Tater Tot gets to work with kids, right?
Yeah, well,
All
they
the
do.
time.
They do too. But yeah, he's because of my role in the caseload that I have.
Yeah.
He gets to work directly with the kids on my caseload, as well as we have 200 volunteers as well, and a lot of them aren't trained to be able to take on the vicarious trauma
Sure.
of what they hear in the courtroom. So they can come down and get some love. We have what's called the Tater Tot Cuddle Corner. We have couches and a library and nice lighting, and it's just a place to come and one of his commands is hug, and they get hugs and all sorts of stuff. It's her favorite.
Favorite.
So can you show me?
You
a
want
hug?
to? Yeah. Do you want to? You want to?
Yeah,
hug?
I do.
Okay. You usually have to get down to his level.
Okay, I'll get down.
All right. Sweet boy. Hug. Oh!
I
Up
got
your
a
hug.
hug.
And a smooch. Wow.
Oh, and a kiss.
That was a
Thank
twofer.
you.
That was a twofer.
Thank you, Tater Tot. Oh,
That's why he's the chief cuddle officer.
oh, totally. Do the kids warm up to Tater Tot pretty well?
They do. So the idea in my mind of working with a dog alongside me, I lived in London for a few years, and I worked at a no-kill dog shelter there. And they had a special program where they would bring in youth offenders and have them train dogs for rehoming as part of their recreation hours. Just taking a look around.
Yeah, all right.
And
you do you, Tater Tot.
and there I immediately saw that the dog was kind of the chisel for the ice that forms around teenagers who are being defiant or kind of in a place in their life where they don't want to communicate with adults. He is the thing that gets me quick access, quick rapport. So
that's great. So how many commands does Tater Tot know about?
Well, he knew 56.
Okay.
As
he gets older, he forgets.
Well, under my tutelage, yeah, it's down to about 12. But
there are 12 important ones. 12 important commands.
Really, it's his obedience and he's intuitive. He'll sit under a table with a kid during their hearing, and if they become emotional, he'll kind of stand up and put his head on their lap, and it's like he knows that they need him in that moment, and he diffuses situations, makes things a little calmer.
I can see how he could do that.
Yeah.
So what other commands does he know? Like something you could show us?
Well, let's see here. It's just general obedience, really. I mean, so he was taught he was taught to do things like he can push open doors, he can turn off lights, he can he knows direction and functional things like that.
That's
so it's not really trick stuff.
No, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So does he work in the Restore Court? I think I read that. Tell me about the Restore Court.
He does. So Restore Court has been around since 2015. It's the only certified specialized docket for juvenile victims of human trafficking or those who are at high risk of exploitation. I hate using the words human trafficking. Really, it's just an exploitation of vulnerabilities.
Absolutely.
And so I'm lucky enough to get to preside over that court. I've been involved with that court since 2018 when I was the guardian ad litem. But now seeing Tater Tot working with the kids, it's fantastic because I think I've described it as the calm in the storm. Sometimes our hearings are really, really great and people are killing it with their orders and their goals. And then sometimes, as Jeff knows, it can be a little tumultuous, a little chaotic.
Sure.
And Tater Tot, like Jeff said, it's intuitive. He calms, he's there. I don't even know he's there, but I can see kind of this under the bench. You know what I mean? And so he's fantastic with the kids that really, really need it.
What do you think it is about dogs, or this dog in particular, that people bond with? I mean, I just
your bond was immediate. You saw him in the parking lot.
I saw him in the parking lot. I could barely park. I was like, I have to get out and see this dog. And he waited for me to come over.
Yeah.
He was down, and it was just incredible. And then he just knew. But he knew that I liked him. Like I'm sure there's some kids that are scared of dogs.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to acclimate and stuff. And I assume that Tater Tot can recognize that as well, and stays away and kind of lets them come to.
Yeah, exactly right. He meets them where they're at. He's not going to force himself into the situation. He waits for them to open up, and I've watched him kind of approach slowly. Maybe start with like a knee nudge or a hand nudge, and then before you know it, kids are coming in. Where's Tater Tot? Where's Jeff? Where's Tater Tot? You're right here.
Is Tater Tot there every day?
Every day.
At court?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So people, does anybody come just to see Tater Tot?
Sometimes, people swing by the office. Just to, they're like, you're cool, but where's your dog?
Yeah. So do you have a little complex about that?
No, it's fine.
I really like you, but I need to see your dog.
I would do it to people too, I guess.
Yeah. So I've done it, and I'm not sorry.
Yeah, I would be doing that. So I want to remind our viewers and those who may have joined late that we are here with Tater Tot, the Summit County Juvenile Court Therapy Dog. Tater Tot's handler, Jeff Auerbach, and Magistrate Amber Crow are also here with us, explaining how the court functions and what they do and how Tater Tot fits into the system. So, how many kids come through the juvenile court system a year? Do you know that? I mean,
I cannot even begin to estimate that.
Yeah.
I know that we serve a lot of families. We serve a lot of kids. Some in almost dual capacities. Like some might have a delinquency and unruly case, but also might have a companion open CSB case. So there are things like that happen where we're serving families in different roles.
Right. I know I have not been there. My husband's been there once. My son got a traffic ticket. When he was underage and had to go in, and then I think he had to bring food to.
Oh yeah. And I like those programs.
Donate
too.
Food, and then you can get off the ticket.
Nice.
Or that was your penalty
Okay.
for
You do
first-time
some philanthropy
offenders.
and-
Yeah,
Oh.
it was very cool, and he had to take a little class or whatever, but that might have been the second offense. You know, Leadfoot. He's 23 now. He's over that. So do the staff then get to come play with Tater Tot?
Sure, yeah. So the staff in our office, we have, I think, 17. We're one of the bigger offices in the court. And then other staff members come up, or I'll walk around the lobbies.
Yeah.
Just to see if there are families that are interested, or even, like fellow coworkers.
So what I find fascinating is I have a dog who is totally food motivated. And I have to spell the word T-R-E-A-T, treat, because if I say it, well, first of all, if I spell it, I think he knows how to spell now,
Yeah, he's
too.
there, yeah.
So, like, he's motivated only by food. If I don't have food, he's like, ignoring me. This dog is not trained with treats.
Right, yeah. He was praise trained, is what they told me, which is just, a high-pitched good boy, goes a long way. So no treats. And also, I've told the story before, but part of the certification when I went to Kansas to get him was called the cheeseburger test. And I had to put him in a downstay in the food court in the mall.
Oh my
and walk
gosh.
away with him under the table by himself. And somebody walked by, dropped a hot cheeseburger in his face, and he wasn't allowed to move, and he didn't.
I'm not sure
And
I'd pass that test.
I would not pass the 10-second rule. I would be,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Like, but he does eat. He likes his food,
Loves
like
his
normal.
food,
Like
loves
he's
his food, yeah.
but yeah, he's just not food motivated.
Right.
Just praise motivated. Oh, if I
Yeah.
could just transfer some of that to my
know,
dog, I'd be
yeah.
so much richer.
Every dog
I-
I've had before him has been a nightmare in terms of food. So.
Yeah, and I think my dog eats better than I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so
That's what it should be.
yeah.
That's what it should be.
So, how has the therapy dog changed the atmosphere in the court? Like, like
I think it's decompressed. It's almost like when you see Tater Tot,
Right.
there's a sigh of relief. My first encounter with Tater Tot was the hug. Like, so when I first met Tater Tot, Jeff told me he knows how to hug. And I said, he knows how to what? And I sat down and I got a hug, and it was amazing because you have some really high pressure days with things that are going on. Went home, told my animals, I said, we're having a family meeting because there's this dog at work who knows how to hug. Now, mine are also treat driven.
Right.
What are you guys doing? But it's just when you're dealing with stress, you know what I mean? And we're really trying to make sure we're maximizing our efforts to serve these families. It's nice to come out and deal with somebody who's not looking for anything.
Right.
The only thing he wants to do is make you happy.
Right.
You know, back to that intuition.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I think that it really just leads to us being able to breathe for a moment.
how does Tater Tot get along with the other court dogs?
Well, he was trained to ignore other animals, so
Really?
he doesn't care who's around. And they, for the most part, are fine
fascinating.
too. Yeah.
I mean, boy, I did
Yeah.
a really bad job in training my dog, who goes ballistic at
Yeah.
any
Oh,
other
yeah.
dog or animal or squirrel or
Until you have it,
anything.
you're like, oh my god, I didn't know they could. Be
I
like that.
did not know. Like, I need to go back to dog training
Yeah.
school, I think. Okay.
But to that question, I run him in the mornings,
Okay.
in the way in, and people will stop and he'll run up and drop the ball for them, and they'll throw the ball, and your brain isn't quite activated at 7:45 in the morning,
Sure.
but to see people smile and like thank me and thank him and
Right.
be excited to walk into work, I think just speaks volumes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So at the courthouse, he follows you around?
Yeah.
Did you have him on a leash? Do you?
Yeah, I'll usually have him on a leash,
Okay.
or I'll just keep him. He loves to stay under my desk,
Okay.
so I can run around and do quick things if I need to, and come back. And
Dang.
yeah,
Dang. So, how often does he get outside during the day?
I take him out at least 3 times a day. So
Okay.
morning, afternoon, and then after work.
Is there a
we'll run.
spot for him to go?
Yeah,
I
there's,
just gotta
there's
know,
like a long,
a
a long yard, or really
There's a yard,
any
okay.
grass. So you saw me running them out
Yes.
front here, just wherever
Okay.
there's a grass patch, we'll
Okay.
take advantage of it.
Good, good. So he's a skilled athlete, I hear.
he's a skilled.
Let's hear about that.
Well, I mean, he's just loves to run. I mean, I don't know if he's.
What's he do for fun? Does he catch frisbees?
He catches frisbees, balls, yeah. Anything he does. So because he should be in a field herding sheep somewhere, he does this
Correct.
tracking thing where, he'll drop a toy at your feet and back away and kind of crouch down
Yeah.
and silently yell at you until you throw it. He does that with the ball, and I think just innately he needs something to be
herd.
able to herd, whether it's a ball coming towards him or
Sure.
a frisbee.
Or
Sure.
court employees.
Or court
Or
employees.
court employees.
Okay.
Here's us.
So can you relay any experiences? I know you probably have a million of them,
Yeah.
where he's really gone above and beyond during a experience in court.
Yeah, I think just, the most recent one I think is I walked out into the lobby and a woman was coming with her daughter toward us from the courtroom area, and she saw him and just started crying and got down and just said, I needed a dog so bad today, you have no idea. And from there we facilitated a conversation, and she requested he come to her next hearing, and so he was kind of there for her in that regard. And just, it's the you're not in the court because you want to be there, you're there because you're recounting the worst day of your life normally. So to have something unexpected like this really, I wish I could quantify it for grant purposes, but how do you say somebody fell to their knees in tears, or somebody their shoulders slouched and they looked relaxed? I mean, how do you?
So you have like the best job in the world. You're bringing joy to people.
I try to,
comfort at like the worst times of their life.
Yeah. I love my job so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to take this dog home.
And then I get to take him home. He's mine. Yeah.
How's he at home? Is he off duty?
Yeah. So when you take the vest off, he kind of knows that he's not working. And man, he's a goofball. He's
really?
He just makes me laugh. His comedic timing, like you said, he knows how to spell words. So
yeah,
I've had to call something else, like something completely different, just so he wouldn't know, and then he'll learn that, and then I'll spell it, and he'll learn the spelling, and he outsmarts me every day.
Do you sleep in your bed?
I've tried. He won't. He puts himself to sleep at 10 every night. He'll go into his hut by himself.
My gosh.
He's like a very obedient teenager.
Very regimented.
It's wild. It's every day is something new and different.
Yeah. So I want to hear more about your job.
My
and
job.
What you do, and the kids that come through, and just tell me more.
So I think Jeff really nailed it when he said people are coming through the court at the worst times of their lives. Nobody wakes up and says, hey, this is what I want to do today. I want to go deal with Magistrate Crow. But what I do is the main focus of my docket is delinquency. So some kids that are alleged to have committed some sort of crime. And I have evidentiary hearings, we have trials. I think what the most important part is the disposition. So that is what people would think of as sentencing in adult court. And that gives us the opportunity to really, it follows a staffing where our staff has collected information from counselors, families, schools, and put together recommendations. So that gives us, I think, our best look at what's going on, a holistic picture with this kiddo, and then put orders into place to where I never have to see them again. I tell them that in a good way.
Right.
I want to see you, but I want to see you when you're coming in for graduation and you're here to invite us.
Right.
And so that's, I would say, about 85% of what I do is the delinquency.
Okay.
And
it's got to be tough.
It is tough, but I got to tell you, I'm going to piggyback on when you asked Jeff about his experience with Tater Tot.
Please.
And this is why Jeff and Tater Tot are so amazing. I had a kiddo in a DN case who dependency and neglect. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So a CSB case, Children's Services case, and he had left placement where he was in charge of taking care of his guinea pig. Do you remember this? And he loved animals. And I emailed Jeff and I said, hey, do you mind just surprising this kid at his next hearing and coming down? So the kiddo came to the hearing and he was elated to see Tater Tot. Like sat there. He, parents weren't unfortunately involved, so it's really just the guardian ad litem, prosecutor, caseworker, professionals, and I do my best. I think all of us do, but I really do my best to make sure the kid knows they're the most important person in that room. And I think just Tater Tot added to that in such a way that you can't articulate properly. You just had to be there and experience it. So my job can be hard, but I absolutely love it. When you see kids making changes, when you see the positive impact you have, you're like, this is worth it. This is why I do it.
Absolutely.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah. So Judge Linda Teodosio, how does she incorporate Tater Tot? Does she embrace this in her court?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Don't you visit in detention too with Tater Tot?
You do.
So
tell me about that.
We go to detention twice a week to see the kids who are being detained. I think we're one of the only courts that has its own therapy room with 2 full-time therapists on staff at all times. So people can fill out a request to speak to somebody if they're feeling some kind of way, if they're having issues with anything, or even if they just want to go and relax. They have beanbag chairs and books and coloring and all sorts of stuff. But they've started to incentivize Tater Tot. So if you're good over there, you get a certain number of points every day. And once you reach a certain number of points, you can request a visit. So we'll go over there, sit in the therapy room, and just the kids will throw the ball endlessly for about an hour. And again, that is distraction enough for them to usually open up to me and talk about stuff. And it's gotten really good feedback from the kids and the therapists.
Oh, I bet. He's got to be the most popular staff member.
Yeah,
Does Tater Tot get paid? Is he on the payroll?
He doesn't.
No.
He doesn't.
Oh, I think you should negotiate. Can I be his attorney
Yes,
and
please.
negotiate a
Please.
contract for this dog?
We'll talk off camera.
Yeah, yeah. So I see Tater Tot is wearing this gorgeous tie that
Yes.
that kind of dips in his water when he drinks.
Mm-hmm.
What? How many ties does he have?
He has about 60 ties, which is about 60 more than me.
See, he needs a payroll.
I
He
didn't know
needs
that.
a
I didn't know that.
paycheck.
That's expensive. He needs-
Well, he has a fan who custom makes, about 10 of them are custom made by a fan.
Really?
Yeah, so, everything is wild. Everything is a new experience. And even Judge Teodosiou, I mean, he wouldn't be here if she didn't okay it,
Right.
I approached her about it, and she was, I think, she was on board, but a little uncertain of how it would work. And,
Sure.
But her main focus was, will it benefit the kids?
Right.
And if it does, then it's a no-brainer.
All in. I know
Yeah.
her. She's terrific.
She's
so,
progressive and wonderful.
and I know she would have been here today if she could,
Yes,
but I know
yeah.
she has a trial today, I
Yep.
believe. Look at you, beautiful boy. Yes, what a good boy. So does Tater Tot wear a tie every day?
He does. I try to respect the institutions we go to. I know it's a little goofy, but it is just kind of one of those unspoken things of, I understand I'm bringing an animal in here, but we are here to
Most importantly, does he have bow ties too?
I don't do bow ties. I like
Really?
that these drag and get dirty and dip in his water bowl. I, think
I don't
it's
know.
just-
I'm kind of a bow tie girl, so you might need to try that once in a while.
It's so comical.
And then it has to be the hand-tied ones,
Yes,
like
of
not
course.
the
No,
right.
pre-tied ones. Yeah.
Pre-tied ones. Forget it. So yeah, look at you. You are beautiful. I want to take you home. Does he ever sleep over at the court, or
No.
for no reason? There's no reason to do
No,
that.
no.
No, just comes home with you
Yep.
and is a family pet when he's home.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. Yeah. My parents love him. He loves his grandparents. He just, they spoil him with love.
So,
attention.
is there any talk of getting another Tater Tot?
In the court or
In
for
the
me?
court, in the court.
That's
you
above.
know,
That's out of my. Yeah,
above your pay grade.
Above my pay grade.
Because,
I don't know.
and then, I mean, we don't ever like to think about, the end.
next
Oh
phase.
no,
The next
we won't
phase,
talk about
let's
that.
not
I don't know what she's talking about,
Right,
Tater Tot.
right. But I've had 3 dogs. I'm on my 3rd dog, because that happens.
No, it is a reality. I mean,
it
they
is a
said.
reality. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, the whole court would be mourning.
Yeah. They said to retire him at around 10.
Okay.
I don't think he'll, honestly, his breed. So I specifically requested a dog that isn't a, what do they normally have? Golden Retriever.
Yeah. Yes.
Labs.
The labs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I requested one that was not one, and his work drive is just crazy. He's that
Yeah.
annoying coworker who whistles on the way in, and you're like, I haven't had my coffee yet. Just relax. And
Yeah, he's not
just
gonna
happy
wanna
be there.
retire
No,
ever.
absolutely not.
Well, that's good.
He's so happy.
That's good. That's good.
I would just like to add, though,
Please.
Magistrate Crow has such a positive rapport with the youth that she works with that she doesn't even really need Tater. She's like her own Tater Tot. I've seen kids.
I can see how
yeah, right?
how relatable and kind.
She cares and she's passionate and
Yeah.
she's just but fair. And I've seen kids in detention in the yard just shouting out to her, just giving her the little heart signs, and because she worked with them in
That's
some
amazing.
capacity in the past, and to have somebody who is averse to authority care about you in that way, I think it really speaks volumes to her as well. So.
And I appreciate that, and that's why I think we make a good team. I
Yeah.
really do. It's a very holistic approach. There's not, as part of Restore, there's not one person that does more than another.
Sure.
It is a team with several moving parts, and it's phenomenal.
How
I'm
many
very grateful to
magistrates
work.
are there?
I believe we've got 10.
Okay.
Sounds right.
10.
And how many judges?
Just one.
Just one.
Mm.
That's
The
what I thought.
Linda
The.
Teodosiou.
Yeah, she can't ever retire.
No, no.
no. We love her.
Absolutely.
So 10 magistrates. That's quite a big docket.
Yeah, it's a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids. You got a lot of work cut out for you, Tater.
I know.
You
and
up
And he
for
never
it?
complains about it.
Really?
complains.
Never complains.
No.
I was going to say, in our office, even with the 200 volunteers, we get more cases than we can disperse, even with 10 full-time GLs
Sure.
on staff. The cases keep coming in. So Yeah.
And some of the guardian ad litems are volunteers and some are on staff. Is that how that works?
Sure. I think there's a different name. So the CASAs are the volunteers.
Okay.
I'm a CASA GAL, and then there's GAL attorneys.
And CASA is court-appointed special advocate?
Guardian ad litem.
Guardian
It's a
ad
mouthful.
litem.
Yeah.
That is a mouthful. CASA gal.
CASA gal.
Got it. Yeah, and they all play their own special part in these kids' lives.
Yeah.
They're integral. They're the boots on the ground. They're the ones that are telling the court the what we're seeing in the homes. You know what I mean? Because
Sure.
everybody else has their role. Children's Services, the prosecutor defense. These are the people that are advocating for the kids.
Amazing. Well, you guys do fabulous work there. We're very happy to see Tater Tot. And I want to thank you, Jeff and Amber, and Tater Tot. I want to thank you.
Thank you.
For coming here today for an interesting discussion about therapy dogs, especially this therapy dog and his impact on the kids who come through the juvenile court system and his impact on the staff and the parents. We are lucky to have such caring people in our system, you two, and Judge Teodosio, working to make things easier for children who are struggling with abuse and neglect. Now, if all dogs behaved as good as Tater Tot, I think everybody would have one, right?
Yeah.
Right? Thank you for teaching us about therapy dogs and their crucial role they play in our Summit County juvenile court system. I'm Stephanie York. Thank you for joining us on Forum 360 for a global outlook with a local view.
Forum 360 is brought to you by John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, the Akron Community Foundation, Hudson Community Television, the Rubber City Radio Group, Shaw Jewish Community Center of Akron, Blue Green, Electric Impulse Communications, and Forum 360 supporters.